So, kicking us off is the news that most of y'all are super surprised about. And then there's me, who has been saying ever since Logan ended, Hugh Jackman will come back as Wolverine one day in the MCU. And friends, I am proud to report Hugh Jackman is coming to the MCU in some capacity in Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy's Deadpool 3. The King is returning to us. We're getting another appearance from Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and I lost my mind when I saw this news. Now, granted, I understand that some people are just like, but it ruins the legacy of Logan. It ruins his final appearance. I'm like, it's okay if you think that. You're just not right. Because
okay, hold on.
Because
that is totally of my opinion.
Because look at where we're at currently within the MCU. We are exploring the multiverse. I think Logan was the send-off to the Fox Wolverine. I think this is a Krasinski Mr. Fantastic situation of, yeah, he looks like the person that you know, but he's slightly different. Also, and I think I texted this to you, Josh, or I was either talking to you or Heather about this. There's a difference between Dwayne Johnson's fan service and Ryan Reynolds' fan service.
That's fair.
This is Ryan Reynolds' fan service in that I feel like for years he's wanted to do a Deadpool Wolverine crossover movie. But I feel like he's doing this specifically for one reason and one reason alone, to get fans to be able to see at least once Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in the frickin' Wolverine suit. If you show that in the trailer, in the words of John Campea, they're not going to sell some of the tickets. They're going to sell all of the tickets. Not a lot, all of the tickets. Which makes you think they're not going to show it in the trailer. That's a big, like, pop the crowd moment. But the biggest lie of this whole thing, this whole announcement of Hugh Jackman's returning as Wolverine, for one last time, I'm going, yeah, sure, Jan. Here's why. There's some movie that's coming out a few years after Deadpool 3 called Avengers Secret Wars, which we're not going to talk about that today, but we do now have a writer for it, and it's the same guy that did Loki and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, so kind of checks out there. Doesn't get me overly excited, but checks out at least.
Yeah.
Fans have been clamoring forever for, like, multiverse characters to show up in Secret Wars and it'd be this big, huge event. I think the chances are better now than they were a few weeks ago of that actually becoming reality. But again, fans, temper your expectations for what Secret Wars actually will be. But Josh, one of the greatest castings of all time, Hugh Jackman, is back. The best will always be J. Jonah Jameson. But the Jackman is back, and you hate it, don't you?
I am definitely one of those people who is like that. Yes, like Logan was the perfect send off to Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I don't want to see him in anything. However, if he's gonna come back for some reason, mainly because of like the love, like weird relationship that Deadpool has with Hugh Jackman in both 1 and 2, this just works on so many levels, and I just. If they're going to bring him back, this is how I'm down with. I'm totally okay with that. Even if there's no multiverse shenanigans and he's just back, I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. I would love to see Hugh in the actual, like in an actual Wolverine costume, be it the orange and brown or the black and yellow. I would love to see just an actual suit on him. And I think if anybody's got the balls to do it, it's Deadpool. It's definitely Deadpool.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do use Wolverine suit, which, come on, they better. Or if they save that for Secret Wars, don't you dare. If they do use the suit, I think it'll be the suit from that deleted scene from The Wolverine when he opens up the box or whatever, like the ultimate tease.
Yeah, so the brown and yellow. Orange.
Okay, so what is it that you like that brown and yellow, but you don't like brown and yellow on Daredevil.
No, because that's brown and orange. That's not brown and yellow.
No, it's
You
brown and
kidding
yellow.
me?
It's definitely brown and yellow.
Nah. I think because Daredevil screams red to me. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. The yellow, I think for maybe it's the shade, because the shade for Wolverine's brown and yellow is not. It's definitely leaning towards more like an orange, whereas Daredevil's yellow is clearly mustard. Um,
Another reason why I don't think this is like the legacy destroyer of Logan that some people think it is it's a Deadpool movie. It's going to be so tonally different than Logan. Of Deadpool has always more or less been a satire of superhero movies, so I would not be surprised at all if they make some joke about, wow, we actually could afford Jackman this time around? Like, all it took
yeah,
us 2 movies or
yeah.
whatever else. It only took a colossal merger that almost like destroyed the movie infrastructure. Like, I could see Deadpool making that kind of joke of,
Yeah,
oh wow,
absolutely.
all it took was our studio going completely bottoms up and being bought out by the mouse for us to actually have somebody famous in one of these.
I and I could totally see him calling him Hugh the entire time. Like, not he's not Wolverine, calling him Hugh
I
Jackman
feel like
the
we
entire
pitched
time.
that idea at one point or another of bring back Hugh Jackman for Deadpool 3, but not as Wolverine, as the actual
Yeah.
actor Hugh Jackman. But looking beyond Deadpool, there's no way that you get him back for this and only this with Secret Wars on the horizon. Like,
Here's the thing. I'm gonna say that's totally the possibility, because we got burned with Civil War. And Civil War was what it is. It needed, if you're gonna do a Civil War, it needs to be way bigger than just a one single airport fight.
one day
Despite all my,
one day Josh will get off his high horse about Civil War.
I just, here's the thing, man. I think if you're gonna do one of these movies that is a big colossal like event,
Colossus.
yeah, to do an actual like event, like it needs to be one, part 1 and 2 or something like that. I just, for Civil War was disappointing to me, and I think it'll always be that way to me. But still, regardless of that, I just I I know the chances of them going as hard as they need to with Secret Wars are higher than ever. They're still, to me, not that high for me to have expectations to be seeing a whole bunch of people showing up.
So I forgot to mention this in what we're watching, but I'm actually starting to read the original Secret Wars comic, the original, like the 80s one.
No, nice.
And I could absolutely see a world where certain members, like the newer people, like the ones that they're kind of expecting to lead the forefront, like a Kate Bishop, like a Shang-Chi, the new Captain America, Spider-Man, all of them just get teleported away one day. And then you get select members of the Fox universe, and they just kind of meet as a grouping, like a, hey, what are you? Hey, who are you? And that's kind of their version of Secret Wars. And then we get some incursions from there. So yeah, more or less what happens in the comics, but like, you don't need everybody. We don't need Jessica Alba's Mrs. Fantastic to come back. No, thank you.
Why not? Why not?
Because
that could be fun.
They nailed 3 out of the 4 castings in those Fantastic Four movies, and they also cast her in those movies.
That's mean.
I don't care. It's
you.
accurate because everyone else is great, and Doctor Doom is also in those movies.
He's a thing that happened.
He's a thing that happens in those movies. But as we've heard speculated, the reason why we haven't gotten any mutants or X-Men so far in the MCU is because like those pre-existing contracts with the Fox movies have like supposedly locked those actors behind a wall till 2025, or like they can't be recast till 2025. I'm like, well, if you do Secret Wars, you don't need to recast them. You can just bring them back as a multiverse variant of them. That way you have some form of a big crossover. But then when you're done with Secret Wars, and I'm assuming they're just going to start this new timeline post Secret Wars of everything is canon and everything's together, of X-Men, Avengers, whatever else, then you can recast then, and they'll be like, here's our current universe situation now.
Hmm.
I still maintain that this is a great thing. Um, I love that people were just like, "What did Disney have to do to get you to come back?" He's just like, "No one made me do anything. I'm an adult. I make decisions. I wanted to come back." Um, I don't know if this is a Hugh Jackman situation of Ryan
So
Reynolds.
Ryan pleaded, please, Hugh.
They just backed up a truck. But also, you got to look at who he's working with. Both Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have worked with Sean Levy before. He, words are hard. Ryan Reynolds just worked with him in Free Guy, and Hugh Jackman worked with him in
Mhm.
the criminally underrated Real Steel, which again, no one talks about. Also, Hugh Jackman was in Free Guy as well. Quick cameo there. So maybe Hugh was just looking for the right guy to work with next. Maybe he just wanted to work with Ryan. There could be a lot of factors, but I have a hard time believing this is a one and done for him. Granted, I think this will also give him a chance to show off more of his comedic side because it's a freaking Deadpool movie.
Mm. And I think that's what I'm more excited about. And I can see this being one of the reasons why Hugh comes back, because this is an opportunity. Geez, words are
Words
hard for
are
both of
hard.
us today. It's an opportunity for both of them to kind of take Wolverine in a direction we haven't seen before. So Hugh actually gets to come back and do something fresh. It was why he was so excited about Logan. To do something fresh with the character, something different than he's done before. And honestly, I can totally see them leaning into more of that like original X-Men movies cheese with this, and I'm just excited about it,
And also, if he
honestly.
gets the Wolverine costume, he doesn't have to be in as good of shape the whole time.
Correct, just pad that thing.
Uh huh.